Stress doesn't come from your job. It doesn't come from your bills. It doesn't even come from your problems. Stress comes from you fighting your own life. Right now, millions of people around the world believe that America is heaven. They risk everything to get here. They think that if they just arrive, happiness will follow. But if you live here, you know the truth. The buildings are tall. The technology is advanced. Opportunities are everywhere. And yet people are anxious. People are exhausted. People are silently breaking down. So let me ask you something honest. If this place has so much, why do so many people feel empty? Because heaven and hell are not places on a map. They are experiences happening inside you. The lie we were taught from a young age, you were told, work harder, achieve more, be productive, don't waste time. And you believed that one day, if you worked enough, life would finally feel peaceful. But here you are, still rushing, still tense, still feeling like something is missing. The problem is not that you're doing too much. The problem is that you never learned how to be okay within yourself. You were taught how to survive, not how to live. Why you can't just sit still. Imagine this. What if everything you needed was already taken care of? Food, shelter, safety. All you had to do was sit still and be at peace. Sounds like heaven, right? But be honest, could you actually do it? Most people can't. Because the moment silence arrives, the noise inside becomes unbearable. Your mind starts racing. Regrets show up. Fears surface. Unresolved emotions demand attention. So you stay busy. You distract yourself with work, with entertainment, with scrolling, with noise. Not because you love being busy, but because you're afraid of facing yourself. Stress is not caused by life. Here's a truth most people don't want to hear. Life itself is not the problem. The world is not the problem. Your job is not the real problem. The real problem is that you have not built the inner strength to experience life effortlessly. You are hoping peace will happen by accident. You are hoping happiness will arrive someday. But it doesn't happen by accident. Just like a body needs training to be strong, the mind needs discipline to be free. Without that inner work, even paradise feels like pressure. Why success doesn't feel like success? You reached goals you once dreamed of. You achieved things your younger self prayed for. And yet, the satisfaction didn't last. Why? Because external success cannot fix internal chaos. You can live in the best country in the world and still feel like you're living in hell. And someone else with far less can wake up every day feeling light, alive, and fulfilled. The difference is not circumstances. The difference is what they have created within themselves. The story that explains everything. There's an old story about a man who spent his entire life serving religion. He believed life was suffering. He believed existence was a burden. He believed happiness was something you earned after death. Then late in life, he met a man who simply sat in silence, smiling. When asked what life was, the man said, "Life is like the fragrance of a flower carried by the spring breeze. Not effort, not pain, not punishment, but fragrance." When the religious man argued, saying life was supposed to be painful, the response was simple. That's your experience of life. And that's the truth most people avoid. Life does not decide how you feel. You do. Why stress is a warning sign? Stress is not a weakness. It is a signal. It's your system saying, something inside me is not aligned. You can ignore it, you can numb it, you can bury it under productivity, but it will keep coming back, stronger each time, because stress is not asking you to escape life, it's asking you to change how you are living it. The real question you must face. So here's the question that matters. Have you built the inner foundation to experience life as ease? Or are you forcing yourself through every day? Have you created a mind that works for you? Or one that constantly works against you? Because if life feels like a thorn, it's not something to accept. It's something to remove. Stress is not your enemy, it's an invitation. An invitation to stop running, to stop pretending, to stop blaming the world, and start building the one thing no one taught you how to build. A peaceful, stable, powerful inner life. In the next part, we will go deeper. We will talk about why modern life keeps you trapped in stress, and how breaking free starts from within, not outside. Stay with me, because this is where real change begins. Stress today is not accidental. It is designed. Designed by a world that never lets you stop. Designed by a system that rewards constant movement, but never teaches stillness. You wake up already behind. Your phone is buzzing. Your calendar is full. Your mind is crowded before the day even begins. And without realizing it, you live every day in reaction mode. The culture of constant pressure. In modern society, especially in America, being busy is a badge of honor. If you're exhausted, people respect you. If you're overwhelmed, people relate to you. If you slow down, people question you. So you keep pushing. Not because you need to, but because stopping feels dangerous. Because when you stop, you're left alone with your thoughts, and that's the one place that's the people are afraid to go. What's why your mind never rests? Your mind was never designed to run nonstop, but today it's constantly stimulated. Notifications, news, social media, opinions, comparisons. You consume more information in one day than people used to consume in a lifetime. And the mind doesn't process, it accumulates. Unprocessed thoughts become tension. Tension becomes anxiety. Anxiety becomes stress. Not because life is hard, but because your mind never gets a moment to reset. The truth about distraction. Most people believe distractions help them relax. They don't. Distraction only postpones awareness. You scroll to escape discomfort. You binge to avoid silence. You stay busy to avoid feeling. But whatever you avoid today, you will face tomorrow magnified. Stress grows in avoidance. Peace grows in awareness. Why achievement doesn't bring peace. You were taught that happiness comes after success, after the promotion, after the money, after the recognition, but success only amplifies what already exists inside you. If you're peaceful inside, success feels fulfilling. If you're restless inside, success becomes pressure. That's why so many high achievers feel empty. That's why burnout hits the strongest performers. That's why people who have it all still feel lost, because they built everything except themselves. You know, stress is created by resistance. Here's something most people miss. Stress is not caused by action. Stress is caused by resistance. Resistance to what is. Resistance to emotions. Resistance to reality. You resist uncertainty, and so you worry. You resist failure, so you panic. You resist discomfort, so you suffer. When you fight life, life fights back. When you flow with life, pressure dissolves. Why you feel trapped? You're not trapped by circumstances. You're trapped by patterns, mental patterns, emotional habits, automatic reactions, the same thoughts every morning, the same worries every night, the same fears playing on repeat. Stress is a loop, and unless you interrupt it consciously, it will run your life on autopilot. The cost of never turning inward. Nobody taught you how to handle your inner world. You learned math. You learned history. You learned how to earn. But no one taught you how to sit with your own mind. So when emotions arise, you suppress them. When thoughts overwhelm you, you escape. And slowly you disconnect from yourself. Stress is the price of that disconnection. What stillness actually does. Stillness is not laziness. Stillness is mastery. When you sit quietly, you begin to see how your mind works. You see the patterns, the triggers, the unnecessary noise. And once you see it, it loses power over you. Awareness creates space. Space creates freedom. This is the work nobody talks about. Because it doesn't look impressive, but it changes everything. Why people fear inner work. Because inner work takes honesty. It forces you to admit, I am not at peace with myself. And for many, that truth feels heavier than stress itself. So they stay busy. They stay distracted. They stay stressed. Because stress feels familiar, but peace feels unknown. Modern life doesn't slow down. It never will. So the solution is not to escape the world. It's to become unshakable within it. Stress will not disappear when life becomes easier. It disappears when you become stronger inside. In the final part, we will talk about how to rebuild your inner system, how to turn stress into clarity, and how to experience life not as a burden, but as something light, fluid, and meaningful. Stay here, because this is where transformation happens. Stress is not here to destroy you. It is here to wake you up. Every moment of pressure is life asking you one question. Are you ready to live consciously? Or will you continue on autopilot? Most people never answer that question. They just endure. But you don't have to. The shift that changes everything. The moment stress transforms is the moment you stop asking, how do I get rid of stress? And start asking, what is stress trying to show me? Because stress always points to imbalance. Too much doing. Not enough being. Too much noise. Not enough clarity. When you listen instead of resist, stress becomes guidance. You don't need to fix your life. This is where people get it wrong. They think peace comes after they fix everything. The job, the relationship, the bank account, the future. But peace is not a reward at the end of struggle. Peace is a state you cultivate now. Your life doesn't need to change first. You do. When you change internally, life reorganizes around you. Building an inner system that works just like your phone needs an operating system, your inner world needs structure. Without it, everything crashes. An inner system is built on three things. Awareness. Notice your thoughts without becoming them. Discipline, not force. Consistency, presence. Returning to now again and again. This is not spirituality. This is self-mastery. And self-mastery is the foundation of freedom. The power of doing nothing. One of the most radical acts today is sitting still. No phone. No music. No distraction. Just you and your breath. At first, it's uncomfortable. Your mind resists. Thoughts attack. That's normal. You're not failing. You're finally seeing what's been running you. If you stay, the noise settles. And beneath it, there is calm. That calm was always there. You just never stayed long enough to find it. Why you must stop waiting for heaven. Many people spend their lives hoping for peace later, after retirement, after success, after death. But heaven is not a destination, it's a quality of experience. If your inner world is chaotic, even paradise will feel like pressure. If your inner world is clear, even struggle feels meaningful. Life doesn't need to be perfect to feel beautiful, you just need to be present for it. Turning life from a thorn into fragrance. If life feels sharp, painful, heavy, don't accept it as fate. A thorn is not meant to be endured. It's meant to be removed. Stress is that thorn. Not to punish you, but to push you toward growth. When you take responsibility for your inner state, everything changes. You stop blaming, you stop escaping, you stop running, and for the first time, you stand still, grounded, clear, and strong. Quiet strength. Few people develop. The strongest people are not the loudest. They are calm under pressure, clear in chaos, centered in uncertainty. They don't react, they respond. That strength is built in silence, in awareness, in inner discipline, and anyone can build it, including you. Stress will visit you again. That's life. But next time, you won't panic. You'll pause. You'll listen. You'll adjust. Because now you understand. Stress is not your enemy. It is your teacher. And once you learn the lesson, it no longer needs to shout. If this message reached you, it's because part of you is ready to live differently, not faster, not harder, but deeper. Share this with someone who is carrying too much in silence. Subscribe if you're ready for truth, not comfort. And remember this: life is not meant to be a burden. It is meant to be experienced, fully, consciously, freely.